Alright guys, we got a freezer, not freezing today. Box is at 91 degrees, as you can tell. It's completely full of product. It's the 0 zone. There's our model and serial number. It's been at 91 for a couple days now, so you can imagine the smell in there. Let me come around. First thing I noticed just a few minutes ago, suction line on our compressor there was frozen over. It's thawed now, but check out our accumulator. The accumulator's got a nice covering of frost on it. And just a few minutes ago, the unit was cycling off on low pressure, so I'm going to assume that we have something going on with our evaporator. I'll bet once I clear out a spot in that evaporator, the fans have stopped. Sight glass isn't moving, condensing unit's off, compressor's warm to the touch. Not much else to show you up here. Check your condensing fan. It's clear, just dusty. But alright, I'm going to clear some product and check out this evaporator. Alright guys, got a section of the evaporator cleared out here. So let's pull it open. That's exactly what I expected. All of our evaporator fans are frozen. So we're essentially getting no airflow across our evaporator. You can see back in there, our evaporator is not frozen over, so it's not really a defrost issue. I'm going to try to pull, I probably can't even open this evaporator, this panel right here. It flips forward and you can get a better look at the evaporator, but with so much product in here we can't do that. But there's a drain that 0 zone has behind here in that evaporator, and that drain isn't equipped with a heater. So what always happens is the condensate drain freezes over, water builds up, and then your evaporator fan stops and you have this problem. Pretty common. So, took a little bit of doing, but I was able to clear off all the shelves above our evaporator coil here. Now, we are currently calling for cool. As you can tell, all of our evaporator fans are stopped from ice building up in the bottom of this pan. So, what that does is once you stop the airflow across your evaporator, you're just basically running liquid refrigerant through your evaporator coil. Your suction pressure drops, and your compressor basically short cycles on and off on low pressure, which is what it's doing right now. So let's see if we can pull this open. There we go. So you pull this right open. This is just on a little hinge. Got some of our fans going right there. Those are still stopped up, but I don't want to ruin those fans, so we're going to come up here and just disconnect. See? There's our compressor turning on. It might actually run for a little while, but let's go along for the ride on this one, huh? Alright, so back here at our evaporator, what I want to show you is first thing we got to do is we got to break up this ice, because we're going to get this ice out of here. I'm going to leave it powered off, and we are going to let it thaw. So what I want to do is I want to show you where this drain hole is at. Right there. So this right here is our condensate drain hole. Now Zero Zone in their infinite wisdom, see down there now, Zero Zone in their infinite wisdom never put a defrost or a drain line heater in there. So what'll happen is the top of that'll usually fill up, it'll freeze over, and then it'll just start backing water up everywhere. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for all this ice to melt. We're gonna come back. I'm gonna cut into these fan lines. I'm just gonna wire a drain line heater right to these fans, because these fans have constant power. So we're going to wire those in, feed a heater down into there, and that'll fix our problem. But this is a very, very common issue on Zero Zones. I've done 15, 20 of these at least. So, alright, let's get this ice cleaned out of here. Alright, so we got all the ice cleared out of the bottom of this. I verified all my evaporator fans do spin. None of them seem to be cracked. Fans don't appear to be damaged much at all. There's all the fun colored ice. Some of that is meat juice, some of that is ice cream and popsicles. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'll attach a screenshot of the drain line heater that we're gonna come back and put into this thing. I know a couple of you guys are probably wondering why we don't just clean out all this ice and just leave it running, because I plan on leaving it off so it can thaw. I'm also gonna just do an amp draw of that defrost heater, but I've seen so many of these and I know the ice pattern of this, so I know a defrost heater is probably fine, but we'll get an amp draw of it just in case. But the only way to really get the ice out from underneath that evaporator coil is just to spray a bunch of hot water in there. And you obviously have to have the machine off to do so. And if you do that, unless you have some sort of shop vac or something hooked up to that drain, you're going to end up flooding the store. That plus all the product's already been lost, so we're not even really overly concerned about getting it up and running right now. I'm going to let it all fall naturally, come back, put a heater in there, and we'll be all set. So let's go up top and get an amp draw of our defrost heater. Real quick, you guys, while I'm up here, I just noticed this, thought I'd share. A lot of times at this particular retail location, we get condensing coils that are plugged full of balloons. So now that one being low hanging, the string is caught on the screen that's over top of the condensing unit. I give it about another day or two, and that balloon's gonna lose just enough helium and get sucked right onto that condensing coil, and then we'll be out here for another service call. So while I'm up here, walk over here, and we're gonna get rid of this balloon here. Go. And now we're safe. All right, real quick before we get up and check this defrost timer, or this defrost heater, excuse me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully pull this evaporator cover open. Maybe. And I'm gonna dump some water down this drain line, and I'm gonna go up top and watch it actually drain, just to make sure our condensate pump underneath is actually pumping the water. Alright, that's a good amount of water. Let's climb up here. right there is our drain pan for our condensate. Right out of this line right here, we should have water that we just dumped in there. It should be pumped up and poured out of here, but that's not happening. So we're going to need to investigate that pump. As NorCal would say, it looks like we have a multiple offender. So here, this is our drain pump, our condensate drain pump. Might have had a false alarm on here. We're just going to dump some more water in here. I don't think it was full enough to actually have activated that float switch. So I'm going to dump another gallon of water in here. Alright. I can hear the pump going. I don't see any bubbles or anything. Let's go up top. It's hard to pick it up on camera, but looks like we are moving a little bit of water up here. However, normally when these pumps start to pump chicken juice and meat juice, I quote them to be replaced. Ice cream as well. Ice cream will get in there, it'll just clog everything up inside that pump. It'll never pump right. So I'm going to quote to replace that pump just as a preventative measure. Alright, now we're going to move on and check this defrost heater. So here we are up top in the condensing section here. I'm going to pull this control cover off, this contactor right here, and again we are powered off just so you know we're safe. This contactor right here is for our defrost coil. Now since this contactor is not pulled in, I'm going to ohm out this heater right through the contactor. We got 13 ohms of resistance on our heater. That's not too terrible. If you check out our schematic, you'll see why. I can just test it right there. It goes from black to brown, over to red to gray, and then from red to gray, it stops on over here, and goes to the bottom side of our contactor. So now, I'm going to put our disconnect back in and see if we can't get an amp draw. Back up and running. Now the only problem we may encounter is my box temperature is still pretty high. The evaporator temperature, however, is pretty low. But there is a probe inside that evaporator that tells that controller that the box is too hot and it should come out of defrost. I am going to try to just put it in manual defrost here. It took some doing, but we are in manual defrost. You can see our contactors pulled in. Switch over to amp draw. And we got 15 amps that side, 15.7 on that side. So our defrost heater's fine. Pull that disconnect back out. So we're going to end up quoting for a drain line heater, and once it's all thawed and ready, we'll come back and install it. See, over here is our condenser. All that rust and corrosion, that seems to be a common thing with zero zones. That suction line sweats. That accumulator back there sweats a heck of a lot. Now, I always thought that accumulators shouldn't be insulated because they need to be exposed to the ambient temperature so it can boil off the excess refrigerant that it pulls back. you know, because that's what it's there for, is to protect the compressor from liquid slugging. But Zero Zone, for whatever reason, insulates them. They tend to sweat a lot. But, alright guys, that's all for today. Hope you enjoy the video.